A customer walked into my shop last month with a 2019 Hyundai Tucson that needed a new engine at 74,000 miles. The quote from the dealer was $7,400. She told me she bought it because the monthly payment was $38 less than the Honda CR-V she actually wanted. That $38 a month in savings just cost her nearly 2 years of car payments all over again. I see this constantly. People skip Honda because they think the price gap is not worth it. Consumer Reports just released their 2026 reliability data based on surveys from over 380,000 vehicles, and Honda landed at number 4 overall with 7 models scoring above average. 7. Out of their entire lineup, only 2 scored below that line, and one of them is an EV that Honda did not even design themselves. I have been working on Hondas for over 15 years. I have seen CR-Vs roll through with 230,000 miles on the original transmission. The data from Consumer Reports lines up with exactly what I see on the lift every single week. These are the 7 Honda models that scored near-perfect reliability marks for 2026. And the one at the top of this list just did something no Honda has done in years. Number 7 is the Honda Odyssey. Nobody gets excited about a minivan, and I get that. But the people who skip the Odyssey because it is not cool enough are the same people overpaying for 3-row SUVs with worse reliability. The complaint rate on the Odyssey dropped from 79 per 10,000 vehicles sold in 2018 to under 10 per 10,000 by 2025. That is Honda systematically eliminating the transmission issues that plagued earlier models. Average annual repair cost runs about $490, below the minivan segment average. A Chrysler Pacifica hybrid sits near the bottom of Consumer Reports reliability rankings and runs you $670 to $850 a year in unscheduled repairs. If you need 3 rows and sliding doors, the Odyssey is the only minivan Consumer Reports trusts right now besides the Sienna. Buy it with confidence. Number 6. The CR-V Hybrid. Honda's 2-motor hybrid system runs through a fixed gear ratio instead of a conventional transmission, which eliminates the single most expensive failure point in any SUV. A CR-V hybrid gets you roughly 40 miles per gallon combined. A standard CR-V gets about 30. Over 5 years and 60,000 miles, that gap saves you $2,800 to $3,500, depending on where you live. The hybrid premium on the sticker runs about $2,000 to $3,000. So the hybrid pays for itself before you even get to the reliability advantage. The one issue owners have reported is the infotainment dropping Siri integration through CarPlay. Software annoyance, not a mechanical problem. The powertrain, the battery pack, the drive system all scored top marks in Consumer Reports trouble spot analysis. Get the Sport L or above for the features that matter. And if you do not need the hybrid, the gas-only version tells you a lot about Honda's engineering consistency. Number 5. The standard CR-V. Above average predicted reliability for 2026, and the CR-V has carried that rating almost every year since the current generation launched. Annual repair cost sits around $407, below the compact SUV average. I have pulled these 1.5-liter turbos at 140,000 miles and found them cleaner inside than some engines at 60,000. Honda fixed the oil dilution issue in 2019 with updated piston rings and software. If you are buying a 2023 or newer CR-V, that problem is behind you. Skip the base LX if you can. The EX and above get you blind spot monitoring, which should be standard on everything, but is not. A used 2024 CR-V EX runs $29,000 to $32,000. A new one starts around $34,000. Either way, you're buying one of the most proven compact SUVs in the country. Number 4. The Accord Hybrid. It tied for the second best reliability score in the entire midsize car category, right behind the Toyota Crown. The 2.0-liter paired with 2 electric motors makes 204 horsepower and returned 48 miles per gallon in Consumer Reports testing. A gas-only Accord gets about 32. Over 100,000 miles. That saves you $5,000 to $6,500 in fuel. And a transmission replacement on something like the Nissan Altima runs $3,800 to $5,200. The Accord Hybrid does not have a conventional transmission to fail. I inspected a 2020 Accord Hybrid last year with 118,000 miles on it. The brake pads still had 40% life because the regenerative braking does the heavy lifting. The engine looked like it had 40,000 miles. That is what happens when an engine only runs part-time. Get the Sport L or Touring for the full safety suite. If you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover reliability data and ownership costs every week, and the goal is always the same. I want you walking into the dealer knowing more than the person trying to sell you something. Those first 4 were the models that do their jobs quietly. But the next 3 are the ones Consumer Reports flagged as exceptional. These Hondas are beating models from Toyota and Lexus on the reliability charts. Number 3, the Civic Hybrid. Consumer Reports named the Civic their best small car for 2026, and the Hybrid is the version they specifically recommend. It makes 200 horsepower, hits 60 in 7.5 seconds, and returns 49 miles per gallon combined. Those numbers do not usually exist in the same car. The 11th generation platform has been building reliability data since 2022, with clean results across every major system. Base price starts around $29,500. A comparably equipped Toyota Corolla Hybrid makes 134 horsepower and feels like it. The Civic gives you 66 more horsepower and sharper handling for about the same money. One recall has been issued for a worm gear spring in the steering, which dealers fix for free. That is the kind of proactive recall that makes me trust a manufacturer more, not less. They caught it before it became a pattern. Number 2, the gas-only Civic. I am listing it separately from the Hybrid because the ownership math is different. The standard Civic earned the highest overall score in the small car category across all of Consumer Reports testing. More than 260 vehicles evaluated. Highest score. Base price is $24,695, which makes it the most affordable vehicle on Consumer Reports' entire top 10 list for 2026. The 2.0-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder has essentially 0 mechanical complaints across 3 model years of data. 0. RepairPal puts Honda's average annual repair cost at $428 across all models, compared to the industry average of $652. The Civic comes in under even that. If you are buying your first car, buying one for your kid, or just want something that will run for 200,000 miles without drama, this is it. Done. And number 1, the 2026 Honda Passport. This is the model I mentioned at the top. Consumer Reports gave the redesigned Passport a near-perfect predicted reliability score, and it beat every single vehicle in its class. The Toyota Crown Signia, the Chevrolet Blazer, the Subaru Outback, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Passport beat them all. Here is why that matters. Honda completely redesigned the Passport for 2026. New exterior, new interior, new infotainment, bigger dimensions. Consumer Reports' own data shows that brand new designs almost always score worse in their first year. The Equinox, the Terrain, the Enclave all got redesigned recently and scored below average. The Passport came out of the gate at the top of the chart. The 3.5-liter V6 makes 285 horsepower through a 10-speed automatic with standard all-wheel drive. It scored top marks in 16 out of 17 trouble spot categories. The only area with any owner complaints was infotainment electronics, and even that was minor. The Trail Sport trim gives you skid plates, recovery points, and real ground clearance. A base RTL starts around $43,000. A Trail Sport runs $48,000 to $54,000. Honda used physical buttons and knobs for climate and audio instead of burying everything in a touchscreen. I cannot tell you how many customers come into my shop frustrated because they cannot change the temperature without swiping through 2 menus. Honda actually listened. Remember that customer with the $7,400 engine replacement on her Tucson? She just bought a 2026 Passport. She told me she is never making that mistake again. The pattern across all 7 of these models is the same. Honda keeps using proven powertrains, refines them instead of replacing them, and resists the urge to overcomplicate things with technology that has not been tested long enough. That philosophy shows up in the data year after year, and it shows up on my lift every single day. The car will meet you halfway. You just have to choose the right one. If you want the full breakdown of the Civic Hybrid versus the Corolla Hybrid with real ownership cost numbers over 5 years, I made a video on that. It is on screen right now.